In that last section, we talked about our client, and understanding people is important, but understanding the underlying physiology helps you to understand them even more. And the central nervous system, the brain, and how it is linked with every other part of the body, that becomes so important. Because the central nervous system, we talk about the fight, flight, or freeze. That is what is navigating all of that. Fight, flight, or freeze. And when you have a client that really is sensitive, they will freeze up on you. And you might have a client that is not so sensitive, but you want to be that tough love coach. Well, then you're going to have them fighting with you. There's going to be a lot of chaos. And flee. The ones that avoid, the ones that escape, and either physically, emotionally, or through substance, they will just escape. You've lost them. And this is all the central nervous system, because the brain, that the whole purpose is survival. And the central nervous system has that memory. And this is what happens. Okay, when I'm feeling threatened in any way, then I am going to choose those three, depending on what has worked for me in the past. And this is where you have to become very much aware of what their programming is, that behavior that's been locked in, because it's their defense mechanism and it's going to keep them safe. And you don't want clients that are fighting with you all of the time, but you also don't want clients that are avoiding or fleeing or escaping. And that's where ones that freeze, well, they're never going to benefit at all from your coaching if you cannot engage with them. And that is where the trigger states procedure, neuro-linguistic programming, the trigger states, understanding what triggers your clients, that gives you a benchmark and a basis to go by. Because obviously when we listen to our client, she's very much anxious. There is a lot of anxiety about any type of review. And quite possibly she grew up in a household where she was treated harshly. And anytime that, she was just told, well, figure it out yourself, and not given any direction, and then she messed up and made a mistake, and then she was disciplined harshly, that is going to be hardwired in the central nervous system. Don't screw up. Don't make a mistake. You can't fail, because then you're going to get disciplined. And the harsher that a child is disciplined, the more that this is hardwired in the central nervous system, and the more that these trigger states come out, the anxiety, the fear, the angst, the worry, the stress. And all of these states describe our client that we just listened to. All of them. And that is where I want you to be aware, because as we continue on, you are going to be introduced to an online resource that's going to help you to guide your clients so that they can change their trigger states and change it into ones that are more positive and uplifting, and give them a feeling of being supported, and help them to see their world in a different way, but help them to hardwire themselves or rewire themselves. And then obviously the coaching process, we will pull in the trigger states and just have them, through the questioning, really be aware of that. But in the next lecture, we will look at the preparation. Are you ready? Let's continue.